Okay, what I want to show you next actually wasn't in my original plan, but I thought it would be instructive to take this example of ice cream sales and shark attacks and maybe show you how you could do this with spreadsheet software. So with Microsoft Excel and Google Sheets and get these same numbers. All right, so let's take a look at that really quick. And again, this is going to be kind of a quick thing. Um, So let's first look at Microsoft Excel. So you can see here, I've already put ice cream sales as a column header with all my ice cream sales down below. Shark attacks, uh, column header with all the shark attack random variable information here. And so I want a linear model. So I need to calculate the slope, the y-intercept, and the correlation coefficient. Now, this is going to be more of a visual way. So let me kind of do the visual way here. So I'm going to go to formulas, and here's where a bunch of formulas can be found that you can do in Excel. I'm going to click on this one that says more functions. And again, I'm trying to calculate slope. So I'm going to come over here to statistical functions. And if I scroll down to the S's, there's one called slope. Now, the slope function, you can see the first thing it wants is it wants the y values, then it wants the x values. It's kind of maybe in the opposite way that you would think. So let's go ahead and click slope. Okay, and the first thing it wants is it wants our y values. So with the cursor here, I'm just going to drag and select the y values. Then I'm going to click here. I'm going to drag and click my x values. And then when I click OK, you can see it actually calculated it already. If I click OK, there's my slope, 0.368. And if you look at the screenshot that I put in your lecture notes for the calculator, you'll see that that's correct. All right. If we come over here to Google Sheets, all right, so I'm going to calculate the slope as well. I can come over here to, let's see, what was that? Insert function statistical. And now in this list, I can scroll down to, it's going to be called the same thing, slope. Okay. And if I want to know what it needs to do this function, I can click this little question mark, and it wants the y data first with a comma and the x data second. So the y data, I'm just going to click and drag like that. Then I'm going to type a comma, and now it wants the x data. And I'll click and drag. And now I can hit enter. You can see it actually calculated it there. I hate this autofill. I'm going to turn that off. And there's my slope, okay, which is the same that we just got in Microsoft Excel. All right, now how about the y-intercept? Again, I'm going to go to functions, statistical, and I think it's actually called intercept. Yeah, right here. Calculates the point at which a line will intersect the y-axis by using a best fit regression line plotted through the known x and y values. And so first it wants the y values, then it wants the x values. So I'm going to click intercept. It's like, what are your y values? It's these ones. What are your x values? It's those ones. Click OK. And there's our y-intercept. So let me come over here to Google Sheets. Okay, I've clicked in this cell. I want to insert a function, statistical function. And if I scroll up to, guess what? It too is called intercept. It wants the y values first, then a comma, and then it wants the x values. Click and drag. Hit enter. Look at that. Now we got the y-intercept. Now let's come back over to Microsoft Excel. Now we want to calculate the correlation coefficient. So once again, we'll go to More Functions, Statistical, and this one's called Correl. So it returns the correlation coefficient between two data sets. Now it says array 1 and array 2. So we know this should be a positive 7938, so on. So let's try this. Array 1, let's see what happens if we put x values in first this time. And then we'll put y values in second, like that. Positive 793. So you see how, with slope and y-intercept, it wanted the y values first and the x values second. But now with the correlation coefficient, array 1 is the x values go first, and array 2, the y values come second. It's the other way around. But it's going to give us the correct correlation coefficient. So I'll click OK. There we go. Let's come over to Google Sheets. And again, we'll put insert, function, statistical, and I think this one's called Correl also. Okay, now this one, it wants the data formatted the same way. It wants the y values first, and then the x values second. Hit enter. And we get a positive 0.793. All right, so that's how you can calculate those things. If you really quickly wanted to graph this with a line of regression, again, I'm going to do this super quick. We can select the column headings as well as the last row of data down here. Click on Insert, and we want to insert one of these charts here. We want a scatter plot. Okay. Now you can see, this was our x-axis and this is our y-axis right here. And this is our scatter plot. And so what we can do is we can click this little plus sign and click trend line. See, it automatically puts in a line of regression there. We can click on more options. Okay, this gives us options. And over here, down at the bottom, we can click on display equation on chart, which is right there. Oops, let me click this line of regression again. And then you can put display the r squared. Okay, the r squared, that's not the correlation coefficient. If you took the square root of this, you would get the correlation coefficient. This is called the coefficient of determination. Okay. And what you could do is just make this bold and a little bigger so it's easier to read. Oh yeah, and make it black instead of gray. Okay, so that's how you could quickly do a scatter plot and get a line of regression and get the equation for it too. Notice that the slope here is the same as that one, but this is rounded. The y-intercept is the same as it is down here, it's just rounded. And if we took this r squared value, took the square root of it, we would get this number, 0.7938. Over here on Google Sheets, again, we could select those. We could do insert chart. Now what Google Sheets will do is it'll try and predict what kind of chart you wanted to make. So here it predicted we wanted to make a scatter plot or a scatter chart, which is true. It's what we wanted. And it's got, this first column is our x-axis, and then this second column is our y-axis. Again, I'm not worrying about prettying this up, okay? What I want to get straight to is, let's see here. There's a way to put in a trend line, okay? So here under the series option, I can click on trend line and see it puts this line of regression in for me. I think I can click on label and put use equation. There's my equation. And then I can show the coefficient of determination right there. Okay, and I can click this and I can make that bigger and bolder, so it's easier to read. So you can see this value of 0.368 is that slope 0.368. This value of 1.57 is this rounded version of that number. And if you took 0.63 and took the square root of that, you would get roughly 0.7938 something or other. Okay. So this is just a quick little tutorial to show how you could take this data and instead of using your calculator, you could get the line of regression and the correlation coefficient using functions in Microsoft Excel as well as in Google Sheets. And the functions were the same and they almost worked nearly identically. Okay. All right. Let me know if you have any questions.